You're such an asshole.
I don't know why I'm in a good mood today. Maybe because I'm feeling better. And this guy wants me to rant, but I'm not in an angry mood. I'm kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't say am I happy. Aaron, I would like to purchase a rant for you and go through the following article. And the article's from the New York Times. Why, out of curiosity, buddy, why do you read the New York Times? Why does anyone, Legacy News, why does anyone tune into that? Dad, did you see the 60 Minutes special the other day? If there was ever an okay boomer moment, that was it. I don't know, is Eleanor Cliff still around, Dad? She's still, I just think free things. God, it would be a tragedy if she's still alive and not Bob Saget. God, that little piece of phlegm that doesn't want to come out. It's titled The New Political Cry in South Korea, Out with Man Haters, the New York Times. I won't lie right off the bat. I'm going to say that's pretty much an accurate assessment of feminism, no matter where it might be. Maybe in the olden days, equality, women should have the rights to have contracts, work, whatever. You'll have me there. But this modern day incarnation where everyone has rights and everyone's kind of treated equally, and then what are you complaining? Basically, what are you complaining about now? No, I'm not for that. Now you want special treatment. So here's the article. Why would you read this as well? Like, shouldn't 2022 be the year of just not consuming mainstream media politics? Oh, wait, this isn't it. I clicked on that. That's a different thing. Hang on, bear with me, guys. I'm not a professional. After slow gains in women's rights, the country is facing the type of political correctness enforced by young men angry at feminists. Whoa. Political correctness forced by young men? Buddy, you're right. You sent me a New York Times article. I don't even have the energy because I know this person is intellectually dishonest. I already know it's politically motivated. I already know this is not journalism. Slow gains in what? Were South Korean women oppressed somehow? I don't know. Were they? I mean, Switzerland, women didn't get the right to vote until, I think, 75. Saying they undermine opportunity. So they've shown up wherever women rallied against sexual violence and gender biases in South Korea. Dozens of young men, mostly dressed in black, taunted the protesters, squealing and chanting "thud, thud." To eliminate the noise, he said, "The ugly feminist pig made when they walked." Whoa. I don't think South Korean women are overweight. Maybe they're just watching what happened in the West and said no. Out with man haters, they shouted feminism is a mental illness. I'm inclined to agree now. Modern day, yes. I'm not disagreeing with them. I might disagree with their tactics, but their assessment of modern day feminism, I have to agree with. And that may upset you women, it may upset feminists, but you may have to ask yourself and think about, wait, why do a significant percent of the population, including women, think feminists hate men? There's a PR problem with feminism. But that's up for you. I mean, you can, you're just a misogynist. All right, I'm just, keep going. On the streets, such rallies would be easily dismissed as extreme rhetoric of a fringe group, but the anti-feminist sentiments are being amplified online, finding a vast audience that is increasingly imposing its agenda on South Korean society and politics. You mean like communism here in the United States? Or wokeism? Oh, that's okay, but these male activists have targeted anything that smacks of feminism, forcing a university to cancel a lecture by a woman they accuse of spreading misandry. All right. So just like here in the United States, but now it's bad because it's on opposite side of political. I disagree. You should not shut down anybody's freedom of speech. I absolutely disagree with that. That should not happen. But are you going to come and speak out again? Where the left obviously has a monopoly on that. I don't know one place where conservatives have shut down. I'm sure there is an example or two. Well, see, this is why I can't get so upset, because I know this guy has a political aim. This is the New York Times. This is a propaganda company. It is not journalism. It is far from anything it claims to be, and so I just can't get all that angry. They vilified prominent women, criticizing Ann Sand, 3-time gold medalist in the Tokyo Olympics, for her short haircut. All right, maybe I don't like short hair. They have the right to criticize? They do. She a public figure. There you go. They have threatened businesses with boycotts. All right. So same thing here in the United States. Basically, is this just going to be, oh, they're doing that thing, but it's guys doing it in a different country, so it's bad. It's the exact same thing though here. Feminists are doing it here. Boycott this, boycott that. Prompting companies pull advertisements with image of pinching fingers, they said, ridicule the size of male genitalia. Wait, so the companies they were going woke. They're going woke. That's the girls respond with that, because obviously if you disagree with feminism, you have a small penis. There's an intelligent argument. They've taken aim at the government for promoting a feminist agenda, eliciting promises from rival presidential candidates to reform their country's 20-year-old Ministry of Gender Equality and Family. Oh, it's all over, isn't it? I don't mean it's all. I mean, this is spread all over. You have a Department of Gender Equality and Family. You make laws applicable to everybody. You give everybody the same rights and privileges, and then you leave people the F alone. Maybe intervening if there is actual, a lot of people focus on bigotry and discrimination. I would say, and this has been much more important, corporate America could have avoided this a while ago. Nepotism and corruption and cronyism. You go in and you wipe that stuff clean. Oh, your son's the vice president? No, he ain't. The Cappy administration came in and just said, hey, that's a nice company you got there. I see all your children are promoted, even though, I think they're going to find jobs somewhere else, don't you think? That you should come cracking down on. But no, we're going to make outcomes equal. There's a couple companies. Hey, there's a country to the north of you guys that does that. Make sure everything is equal. South Korea is reckoning with a new type of political correctness enforced by angry young men who bristle at any forces they see as undermining opportunity, and feminists in their mind are enemy number one. Well, if you have sexist and discriminatory laws that prefer one group of people over the other, yes, that does undermine opportunity. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe these guys are just, they're overreacting. Could totally be. But I find it very cute that in the United States, when what you're complaining about is happening exactly here now, except we just switched the genders. That's it. But it's okay, which shows the New York Times is genuinely sexist. South Korea is reckoning, inequality is one of the most delicate issues in South Korea, a nation with deepening economic uncertainty, fed by runaway housing prices, a lack of jobs, and widening income gap. What does that affect? Widening income gap. Really? Increasing housing prices. Did he print off more yuan? That's the currency over there. I don't see what that has to do with gender. We don't hate women. We don't oppose elevating their rights, says Bai In Q, 31, head of the Man on Solidarity, one of the country's most active anti-feminist group. But feminists are a social evil. The group spearheads the street rallies and runs a YouTube channel with 450,000 subscribers. To its members, feminists equal man haters. I can't now. Again, I don't know how South Korean feminism is or looks or anything like that. But if it's anything like Western feminism, which I presume it is, yeah. And you're going to be stupid. I'm going to be stupid. I'm going to ask the writer of the article or anyone to take a look at this. When you have it in the law to give preferential treatment to let's just say there's group X and Y. That's it, X and Y. And group X gets preferential treatment. All right. Can you see why group Y would think they're hated? And you can say, no, we're just trying to help out group X. You can't do it that way. You can't give people preferential treatment and say, well, we don't hate you. Now I understand the logic. You may not actually hate group Y, But Group Y doesn't give a damn about what you feel like. What did you do in action? What policies did you set forth? You gave people preferential treatment. And by necessitous logical default, you gave a disadvantage to those who are not, Group X, whatever it was originally that said Group X was or Group Y was. And then there's forget the logic or laws or statements and policies that are pretty concrete and black and white. What about the, for lack of a better word, political emotional? What is said, which I know with the internet, you could drag any example and it would be an extreme example. But at least here in the United States, we've had, as far as I can remember, women telling us they didn't need us. Now, cynically and clinically, yes, that is true. I guess you don't. I guess nobody needs anybody else. But that really starts to sound like hate. Or certainly not like. And I'm not asking you to agree, but can you see that? Can you see that perspective? And then when you accuse men of being oppressors consciously and unconsciously, do you get the impression, or can you understand where men might get the impression that feminists hates men, essentially a hate group? You don't have to agree with it. I'm asking if you could see that angle. Can you see that angle? I know you're politically motivated. I know. It was a stupid endeavor on my part to even bother with that. Its motto once read, "Till the day all feminists are exterminated." Okay, that's a bit extreme. It's like, okay, that's a bit extreme. I think they should take more of the Spike Spiegel approach and just let things happen. Just, if you want to, heck, there's I guess some former Google executive or big time tech executive gal complaining on Twitter now that she's infertile and the 9 rounds of in vitro fertilization didn't work. I'm like, can you let justice know? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Can you all just chill out, have a good old time, and let the Lord do the justice, or nature do the justice? The backlash against feminism in South Korea may seem bewildering. South Korea has the highest gender wage gap among the wealthy countries. Less than 1/5 of its national lawmakers are women. Women only make up 5.2% of board members publicly to compare 28% in the United States. Well, did they choose that? Do women want to be board? Do they want to be lawyers? Do they want? I don't know what the culture is. Once again, can you not just make all laws equal and the same and let the people decide what they want to be? I find it very curious that these self-declared society experts, for lack of a better word, we know what's best, 50% this, 50%. It's like, no, I think men and women have different strengths and weaknesses. Like, I don't want, what are women really? I've always said it before. Women, I think, make better accountants because they're more detail-oriented. They love finding mistakes. See? Okay, got it. There, got it. Okay. Can you just let the cards fall where they may so different people can be different things? You can't make an F-16 a cargo plane. You can't make a, C-135 a fighter plane. You're trying to force everybody to be equal. All it does is make people miserable. Oh, God, everything's not exact. We're not all robots. Oh, no, it's patriarchy. Look, from what I remember of my grandmas, they were much happier in the patriarchal days. Yeah, I'm eating my popcorn. Just eat my popcorn. And yet, most young men in the country argue that it's men, not women, in South Korea who feel threatened and marginalized. Among South Korean men, in early 20%, they were victims of serious discrimination, according to a poll in May. Probably. Did someone promote an underqualified person over them, male or female? The wave of anti-feminism in South Korea shares many of the incendiary taglines with right-wing populist movements in the West that peddle such measures as women who argue for abortion rights are destroyers of family. Feminists are not champions of gender equality, but female supremacists. Yes, that they are here. What would you call a group of people that gets favorable preferential treatment? That is called supremacy. In South Korea, women and feminists are the 2 most common targeted online hate speech, according to the country Human Rights Commission. The backlash represents a split for previous generations. Older South Korean men acknowledge benefiting from patriarchal culture that had marginalized women. I'd like to see the data on that. Decades ago, when South Korea lacked everything from food to cash, sons were more likely to be enrolled in higher education. Some families, women were not allowed to eat from the same table as men. Newly born girls were named Malja or last daughter. Sex preference abortions were common. That's not good. That's not good. How's that working out for China right now, by the way? This country has grown richer. Such practices have become a distant memory. Families now dote on their daughters. More women attend college than men and have more opportunities in government. Oh, you mean where the real world doesn't work? I love how girls go to college more. What do they major in? I want to know. And then they get more government make work jobs. Okay, so they chose wrong. I'm going to assume they chose bad degrees, and now the taxpayer has to create jobs solely to keep their egos and their feelings satiated. Solely to protect their ego. Everyone's got to work harder now to make sure that Amy, or whatever her name might be in Korea, can imagine with her art degree she's actually a contributing member of society. Though a significant glass ceiling persists, men in their 20s are deeply unhappy considering themselves victim of reverse discrimination. They probably are. Angry that they had to pay the price for gender discriminations created under a different earlier generations. Yes. Said Oh Hei Ho, a researcher at the Youngji Research Institute in South Korea. If older men saw women as needing protection, younger men considered them competitors in a cutthroat job market. Yeah, well, they are. We don't even, we're going to take, I mean, have you heard, okay, let me ask, let's just all step back, remove your biases or whatever your thinking is. Have you seen any women offering cheerleading, or not even cheerleading, that indicates a particular role. Do you see women, whether it's in South Korea or here, advocating team? Let's go make a lot of money, guys. Hey, guys, what's up, guys? Let's do it, man. Or is it like, yeah, look out, I'm the boss, bitch. Like, I'm not seeing, like, I'd be okay with that. Like, yeah, let's go, let's do this thing. All right, whatever it is. Running a company, starting a company, something like that. Or is there always an edge of, you look out, because their vagina has been told to be the most important thing to them, and that they're oppressed, and it's them versus us. Do you see a teamwork environment where we like each other and we're working towards a common goal? Or is it an adversarial and competitive environment where you're the peanut people and you better look out, I'm going to file? You obviously know which one it is. Oh, and it's just, I don't see a team us. I see an us versus, that's all I've gotten. Anything you can do, women can do better. All right, lady, I'm 6 years old. I just want recess. Just leave me alone, all right? Anti-feminists often note that men are put at a disadvantage because they have to delay getting jobs to complete their mandatory military service. We have that too over there. But many women drop out of the workforce after giving birth, and much of the domestic duties fall on them. Well, does that not make sense? How is the guy supposed to vacuum when he's at the office or he's on the DMZ? Look that up for all you uneducated Americans. He comes back, all right, you had a little bit of duties, kids are put down to sleep, let's work together, a team. What more do you want? We gave you your own space in the subway, bus parking lot. The male rapper San E writes his 2008 song Feminist, which has a cult following among many anti-feminists. Oh, girls don't need a prince. They pay half for the house when we marry. Then pay half the house when we marry. The gender wars have infused South Korean presidential race, largely seen as a contest for younger voters, with virulent anti-feminist voice surging, no major candidates speaking out for women's rights. Once a popular cause that President Moon Jae-in called himself a feminist when he campaigned about 5 years ago. Yoon Suk-yeol, the candidate of the conservative opposition People Power Party, sided with the anti-feminist movement when he accused the Ministry of Gender Equality of treating men like potential sex criminals. Well, that might be another thing too, but the fact you have a Ministry of Gender Equality and family. Now, is that Orwellian? You should not have that. I'm going to guess it has done sexist things. Not out of malice, of course, out of helping out women, but you cannot help Group X without harming Group Y. And don't be surprised that Group Y is upset. He promised harsher penalties for wrongfully accusing men of sex crimes. Okay. Should you falsely accuse men of sex crimes? No, you shouldn't. Despite concerns would discourage women from speaking out. But Mr. Woons also recruited a prominent 31-year-old leader of a feminist group as senior campaign advisor last month, a move intended to assuage worries that his party has alienated young female voters. By law, Mr. Moon cannot seek re-election. His Democrat Party candidate, Lee Jae-myung, has also tried to appeal to young men, saying just as women should never be discriminated against because of their gender, nor should any men suffer discrimination because they are men. Right. Well, then get rid of all your, I'm going to assume there's an affirmative action thing going on over there. Then get rid of it. I don't know how hard this is. It's kind of like being the libertarian again between two idiots of left and right. Not to, look, I'm this so intelligent centrist. I don't need more right, obviously. But I look at this like, ain't the simple solution to not have any laws regarding any traits anybody was born with? You are a citizen of country X. Here are all your rights and privileges. Don't care how you were born, who you like, whose genitalia you like to lick, what your age or your status, what doesn't matter. You get all the same rights. Are we done here now? Goodbye. Oh, but we all gotta play identity politics. Mr. Lee sees the gender conflict largely as a problem of dwindling job opportunities, comparing young South Koreans to chicks struggling not to fall off the crowded nest. We must make the nest bigger by recovering growth, he has said. It is hard to tell how many young men support the kind of extremely provocative and often theatrical activism championed by groups like Man on Solidarity. Its firebrand leader, Mr. Bay, showed up at a recent feminist rally dressed like Joker from Batman comics and toting a toy water gun. He followed female protesters around pretending to, as he put it, kill flies. Yeah, you might want to keep an eye on that guy. Tens of thousands of fans have watched his stunts live stream online, setting it. Oh, well, he could be a theatrical man. He could just be doing it for the clicks and the money. He may not even be sincere about it. During one online talk fest in August, Mr. Bay raised 9 million won, $7,580 in 3 minutes. Yeah, there might be a financial incentive. Women rights advocates fear is that rise of anti-feminism might stimmy or even roll back the hard-won progress in North Carolina. Explain this progress. What is the end goal? See, that is what's very ominous, and I know what and this is where most men believe well, not most men, most smart people identify feminism as a hate group. You want more. Rhinestone power. What do women want? More. There is no objective line drawn where it's like, now we are treated as equal. No, you were treated as equal under law many decades ago. And now you want society to change. And you want the government to force society, human culture, to change so that you have, as far as I can tell, equal outcomes, which is communism, but that's a cultural communism as well as a financial communism. If you're going to everyone has to be paid the same, which I'm for, equal pay, equal work. But when does it stop? When does it end? And that's what, there is no end. It won't end because they want as much preferential treatment, money, ease, whatever, at the expense of, because of a trait they were born with. It's the number one money-making operation now in the West. I need to get paid more money because of my traits. Why? Because you're born with traits. You don't have to earn them. And you could say those rat bastards over there without my trait are oppressing me. Race, gender, whose genitalia I like to lick, sex. And for people who are just working normal people and don't want to pay you more money because you were born differently than they were, you can imagine why they might view that as discrimination and be pissed off. What the right to vote? They're not serving on the DMZ. It gets so tiring. I kind of, I don't know. I kind of like, I'm older. I don't care anymore. Like, let it happen. Let it go. Because like today is here's a perfect day where you're going to get to enjoy the show. Get your popcorn out, guys. Get to enjoy the show. Because whatever, the corporate executive gal, after 9 rounds of in vitro fertilization, infertility is hell. Well, oh, too bad. You got a job at somebody. You could have had kids. You could have had kids. But then I'd have to give up my career. Yes, probably. Yes. There's only so, and that's not patriarchy. That's nature and economics. That's math. There's only so much time in the day. It's not my fault. I'm going to recall I heard, I don't need this and that. You look out. We're oppressed. I bet you propagated that. I bet you said that, and you made my job microscopically harder to find employment and get by. Oh, now it's almost like there's balance in the universe. In recent decades, they fought to legalize abortion and started one of the most powerful. In recent decades. What do you mean recent? Recent? Can you have a recent plural decades? That 20 years ago? 20 years ago. That doesn't sound, because decades minimum is 20 years ago. When I'm going to look it up. You see how they're liars? This is why why would you read this? In recent centuries, what? They fought to legalize abortion, started one of the most powerful Me Too campaigns in Asia. Lee Ho-lin, 29, said that feminist has become such a dirty word that women who wear their hair short or carry a novel by a feminist writer risk ostracism. Well, are we going to force society to hang out with people they don't like? Are you going to force men to like girls with short hair? Are we going to force men to like fat chicks or shame men for not liking fat chicks? It's insanity. I'm not going to try and stop it. If you want to go ahead and try and force people to like this or do that, go ahead. It's insanity. It's Orwellian. It's a nightmare. But it all ends with everyone being miserable who believes the lies. I go be a feminist. Cut your hair short. Then cry yourself to sleep because you're on your 9th round of IVF and it didn't take. I don't do it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to lift a finger. I'm going to sit here and watch the show. I'm going to go watch some old black and white Western movies. Maybe some spaghetti Westerns. Those are in color. You brought too many. When she was a member of a K-pop group, she said that male colleagues routinely commented on her body. What? Yes. Isn't that what K-pop is supposed to be? Cheering that she gave up being a woman when she gained weight. Well, did she get fat? Well, let's look up Lee Ho-lin. I'm very curious what they consider overweight in Korea. That's why I kind of... Lee Ho-lin. Did I spell that right? Lee. No, I spelled that wrong. Lee Ho-lin. She doesn't. Lee Hyo. Come on, Clary. Lee Hyo-lin. All right. Lee Hyo-lin. Very cute. And there's a picture of her where she is a little bit puddier. But oh my, yeah, no, guys, by American standards, she'd be just fine. She'd be just fine. They think that's fat. Oh my God. Oh. It might be a bit extreme. Well, of course, I've been seeing nothing but fat people for 30 years here in the States. So maybe that is fat by Korean standards. The Me Too problem is part of being a woman in South Korea. She said, now we want to speak out, but they want us to shut up. It's so frustrating. You could speak out and people can tell you to shut up, but the government should not force you to shut up. Okay? And I don't know what freedom of speech is like over in Korea. Well, I know North Korea, they don't have it. But that people are allowed to disagree with you. But that's not a call for government to intervene. On the other side of the culture war, young men with a litany of grievances, concerns that are endlessly regurgitated by male-dominated forums. Well, I mean, I probably the regurgitate because there's like 3 or 4 main ones. They have fixated in particular on limited case of false accusations. That's a concern. Okay, is that something that should concern people? As a way to give credence to a broader anti-feminist agenda. Sun Sol Bin, a used furniture seller, was 29 when his former girlfriend accused him of forcible bedroom fun time and kidnapping in 2018. Online trolls called for his castration. He said his mother found closed-circuit TV footage proving the accusations never took place. Could you see where he... Are you really trying to spin it the other way? Are you really trying to spin that the other way? It's why do you read the New York Times? Feminist influence has left the system so biased against men that the police took a woman's testimony at the mere drop of her tears as evidence enough to land an innocent man in jail. Right, that's a concern, said Mr. Sun. It's been 8 months. 8 months before he is cleared. I think the country has gone crazy. As Mr. Sun fought back tears during a recent anti-feminist rally, other men chanted, "Be strong, we are with you." Is that wrong, Mr. Author guy? I don't really ran. I just, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Shaka-laka, 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 shaka-laka. We got enough problems of our own here, although I'm leaving. Just enjoy the show. Enjoy the decline. Enjoy the show. It's wide open for any girls who want to get in shape, be nice, and ask a guy out. I will throw that in there. You're going to have to ask the guy out. There's never going to be a better time to go find, an open market where there's like, if you want to find yourself a traditional guy, you just got to go get him now. But I would not even waste my time worrying about this. Nothing's going to change. It's going to be different. Sorry, I like to be more ranty. I'm apathetic. I could not care any less. The South Korea, yeah, isn't it the lowest in the world? Let's see. It'll solve itself. Don't worry, guys. Everything solves itself. May not happen while you're alive or on this planet, but it will solve itself. That's it. All right. See you guys later, Toodles.